Welcome to the walkthrough.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Week 15 edition, nay, the quarterfinals, nay, the first round of the fantasy football playoffs. This is the walkthrough. We're going to go through each and every matchup to get you ready for the first round of your fantasy football playoffs. I am your host, the authentic one, Mr. Matty Kiwoom, joined, of course, by the host of America's Game, my man, Eric Vanek. Eric, what is going on?
Not too much, man. Getting to playoff week now for fantasy. Hopefully you guys made your fantasy playoffs in your leagues. And, yeah, this is crunch time. This is what it's all about right now. Time to get the money.
Time to get the money. We talked a little bit before we hit the record button. You're in about half of your playoffs, you could call it. This year wasn't so great for me, I ain't going to lie. But I am in the playoffs in a lot of my redraft leagues. So I got something right. But the Dynasty rosters, they got some improving to do, but we're going to go through this week. We're going to make sure that this entire slate is broken down properly so you have all the lineup decisions, everything you can. And, of course, if you have a question, start, sit, roster, whatever it could be, leave it in the chat, and we will make sure that we get to every dang one of them because, of course, we're not going to leave you hanging here for the first round of the fantasy football playoffs. But without further ado, let's get into the first matchup from the Sunday slate. The 3-10 Cleveland Browns head to Chicago to take on the 9-4 Bears. Bears minus 7.5. Over under of 38.5, which is trending in the wrong direction. It was 39.5 just a day ago. Plus 330 for the Browns, minus 425 for the Bears. Let's start with your Cleveland Browns. Is there anyone on this roster you want to start in this game that projects to have bad weather? Not a lot of points scored. Who you have faith in this week, E?
Yeah, it's supposed to be really cold, and then with the wind chill, it's going to feel like minus 10 from everything that I've seen so far. So the only Browns player I want to play is Harold Fannin, and Joku hasn't practiced the last 2 days, so that is literally the only guy I want to play. I've sat Judkins in a couple spots where I just have a couple better running backs. I would play, I think I have both Bears running backs over Judkins. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good barometer for where they're at.
At this rate, I mean, Harold Fannin's clearly the number one guy for Shador. Yeah. So if you think the Shador has another good game, I mean, last week, what was it, 364 passing yards? He did light it up. It's a totally different game this week. I see a very low-scoring game. We're not super excited about the Browns. We're sharing in that sentiment. But on the Bears side of things, I'm almost more nervous about this side because with Rome being hurt last week, we saw, DJ Moore still completely dudded. Caleb is known to shit the bed. And when he's getting chased by Miles Sanders when it's minus 10, I don't know if that's going to work. Even the running backs here, if we love what we've seen because the volume, but they're splitting. So if we don't expect a lot of points, can we expect anything out of the running backs and for the rest of this Bears offense?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a ground and pound game for the Bears. I've never seen Caleb play in this extreme cold before. I don't know how that's going to affect him. So, I think I like Colston Loveland a little bit, but that's probably about it. I just can't trust any of their receivers right now, and both running backs have been killing it. So I'm putting Swift and Monogny into as many lineups as I can.
Whereabouts would you go like Loveland? So let's play a little name game because I think a lot of people out there have, whether they streamed him, picked him up in redraft or drafted him late in stash. I don't know that, but I think there's going to be a lot of Colston Loveland decisions. So would you go Loveland or Schultz?
Let's see. Schultz is playing
Arizona.
That's indoors. I'd probably go Schultz.
Colston Loveland or Brenton Strange?
Yeah, Strange has been playing pretty solid too. I'd probably go Strange.
I think this is real tough because I think this is a very real situation for a lot of people out there. Colston Loveland or Darren Waller in the first round of the fantasy playoffs?
I'd go Loveland. They've been using Dulcich quite a bit, and Waller's still only playing half the snap, so I would go Loveland.
So there's definitely more options out there than a Loveland. Check your waiver wire. We'll probably get to some of them throughout the show, but yeah.
I think one that's
those guys, it's
interesting
tough.
would be Loveland or Gadsden. I think I might play Loveland over him just because Gadsden hasn't done anything in like a month.
Yeah, Gadsden's been terrible, and believe it or not, the Chiefs are pretty good at suppressing tight end production this year. So yeah, I think that's a good call.
And they have
I'll
to
definitely go
leave
with
like
that.
Disley or whoever in to block a lot. So
That's right. Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. But that from what dud potential to a game that I think, as long as the weather cooperates in Cincinnati, we're gonna love this matchup with the 6-7 Ravens head to Cincinnati to take on the 4-9 Bengals. Bengals plus 2.5 points. Over under 51.5. Plus 124 for the Bengals, minus 148 for the Ravens. Let's start with the Ravens. Lamar last week scratched and clawed his way to a top 10, top 8 QB week. Mark Andrews still dudded, but this is the premier matchup for tight end. So are we going to put a lot of faith in these Ravens players?
So I've sat Lamar in a couple leagues. And they're both from Matt Stafford. So I'm playing Stafford over Lamar. Okay. I think if you have better options, like I don't think Lamar is a must start right now. He hasn't been a must start for a month now. So it's pretty ugly, but I'm still gonna play Derrick Henry. I'm gonna trust him and ride it till the wheels fall off on that one. Zay Flowers is the only wide receiver you can play. And then tight end, I actually kind of like Likely better than Andrews. Likely has been a lot better the last 3 or 4 games. So, and Likely just had 5 for 95 against the Bengals, Thanksgiving night, but he had that fumble going into the end zone. So that sucked. But yeah, I kind of like Likely better than Andrews right now, to be honest with you.
And for the Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, everything's pretty straightforward. There's not much analysis. We're waiting to see the expectations of T. Higgins as the practice unfolds, but he's already getting in some practice, so it could be a good sign for him to play. So we're monitoring that situation, but as far as everyone goes in this offense, we're starting him. There is one question, though. Gesicki looked pretty good last week. In a game with a 52-point potential over-under, is Gesicki a good streaming option if we're just maybe we're nervous about like a guy like Colson Loveland?
Absolutely, yeah. I would definitely play some Gesicki, as you like to call him, Gesicki.
Gesicki. All right, get some questions from the chat. Would you start Egbuka on Thursday Night Football, Judkins, or Manungai?
Honestly, I think I go Manungai. Ibuka just hasn't done anything in a while. You got Evans coming back, even though it's limited tonight. Godwin's been playing pretty much better than Ibuka the last couple games. It's risky, sure, but I just think with that weather that we're expecting, it's just going to be a heavy run approach there from the Bears, and I think Manungai is the guy who's going to do it. So I'm going to go with him over Ibuka.
I second that. Can we just have we're not going to talk about his game because he goes Thursday night. We don't talk about that in the walkthrough, but we just have to have a real quick conversation about Egbuka. We believe in the talent. I don't think that's debatable. We both are on the same page there. But when you look at the stats, dating all the way back to week 5, he only has one game where he finished as a top 35 receiver on the week. It's been brutal despite all of these targets.
He had that ankle sprain, and then he played the next week. I don't know if he's ever just healed from that, So
and Baker's been putrid. Baker Mayfield has been
banged up.
Absolutely terrible.
The offensive line's been banged up. I mean it's tough to trust him right now, but people are still gonna play him.
Man, I'm making other arrangements if I potentially. Manungai would be the guy I would take. I would definitely play Manungai. I'd probably play Buka third on this list, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
All right, so we have all these players. Read through it. We need 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and then a flex.
All right, so my running backs, I would have Henderson for sure. He's been unstoppable. And probably R.J. Harvey. And then my receivers, we need 2 receivers, so I probably go Brian Thomas Jr. and Jefferson. And then my flex, I would probably put another running back. I'd probably go Woody Marks because I don't think Chubb plays, and Woody Marks got all the work. So I think I would go Woody Marks.
I I completely agree with it. I completely I second that. Which two out of these 3.5 point PPR? So let's bench one of these three.
Yeah, I'm gonna bench Evans. Like he could have the Mike Evans game, 2 catches, 14 yards, 2 touchdowns. Very, very possible, but it sounds like he's only going to be on like the money downs and stuff. So I'm still not going to trust it. I'll go Devontae and Aaron Jones, who should play full roles.
Completely agree. His
Especially
first
for your
game back-
playoffs, like your playoffs, it's tough
right.
to do that.
I just with McMillan there, Godwin there,
Yeah,
Egbuka there. It's just there's so Bucky. It's just could he get 3 catches, one of them being a 50-yard touchdown? Sure. But he also could give you a big goose egg, and I just don't want to do that in the first round of the fantasy playoffs.
exactly. Agreed.
Would you guys play Evans over Egbuka tonight? No, I can't do that. All right, let's get into the next matchup, shall we? This one might be pretty bad for us fantasy gamers, but let's talk about it. The 3-10 Arizona Cardinals head to Houston to take on the 8-5 Texans, -9.5 for the Texans, over under 42.5, plus 440, -600. Nothing to do there, but let's start with the Cardinals. A lot of fantasy managers out there have been relying on Jacoby Brissett, Michael Wilson. These are not guys we expected to be relying on or making decisions on here in the first round of the fantasy playoffs. Let's start there, though. Brissett, Wilson, are you confident in probably the stone worst matchup for fantasy offenses?
Yeah, thank God I have buys where I have Brissett mostly. Yeah, I can't play Jacoby Brissett this week if I have a better option. Like, I'm just kind of looking at some of the other options. Like, I'm playing Bo Nix, I'm playing Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Jackson Dart.
Let's ask more terrifying questions because I think it could be this dire for Jacoby Brissett. Would you play Brissett or Tyler Shuck?
Shuck's playing the Panthers at home. I think I go with Shuck, to be honest with you.
Same. I got Shuck ranked higher this week. Jacoby Brissett or Tua Tagovailoa, Monday Night Football.
I think I go with Jacoby.
I would go Tua. I would go Tua and just hope that. I just would hope, but it's not good. It's not good. But the guys you mentioned earlier, I think they're clear and above. But let's talk about Michael Wilson because he's been
I think
on path to be a potential league winner.
Yeah, it depends if Harrison plays. Like, I haven't even seen anything really on Harrison yet. So
Me neither.
yeah, if Harrison plays, then Michael Wilson kind of goes back to his secondary role there. If it's no Harrison, I think Michael Wilson's on auto start. Like, he's gotten like 15 targets every time it's just been him as the one receiver. So if Harrison's out again, I think Michael Wilson's probably a must play for you. Like, it's hard to sit a guy who's getting 15 targets.
And Trey McBride, you gonna fire it up?
Oh yeah, Trey McBride's an auto start every week. I don't care the matchup.
He can't help it. He's just been so good.
And I'm not playing any of the running backs.
No. He wasn't even gonna bring him up, to be honest. If you're worried about those guys, I mean, you're probably not winning your matchup this week. Having said that, watch him go off. And on the Houston side of things, C.J. Stroud, he really hasn't been startable in one QB. But can he be good enough to support the weapons that we need to succeed for us in the playoffs?
I think he's getting better. I mean, Arizona is not like a matchup that scares me at all. So, but he's probably not even in my top 12 quarterbacks this week for starting. So he would definitely be like a quarterback 2 for me this week. Like I said about Woody Marks earlier, Chubb, I don't think he's practiced the first 2 days with a rib injury, and pretty much the rest of the game went to Woody Marks last week. Like, they didn't even Ogunbowale had one snap, so it was all Woody Marks. So he's going to be a focal point, and then Nico Collins, you're not sitting obviously. Dalton Schultz, he's a solid tight end. Like, if you need 50 yards, 4 or 5 catches, he probably gets it for you. So, he's hovering around the 9 to 10 range. Jaden Higgins and those guys, I just can't trust them. It's usually like a 4 for 40 game, and then I don't know who's going to score touchdowns and not. So I can't trust those guys. And Stroud isn't like a guy who's throwing 3-4 touchdowns a week.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the Vegas projections here, it's really hard to not just get super confident for Nico Collins and Woody Marks and probably nobody else. Because if they do just blow out the Cardinals' run defense is putrid. And if it's Woody Marks early, Woody Marks late, trying to close it out, this is a game we could say Woody Marks has like 120 yards, 150 yards from scrimmage. So I think Collins, Marks, those are the guys I love on you. And then I'm with you on Schultz. But for me, I think I'd even get a little funky on the waiver wire as opposed to Dalton Schultz. But we'll talk about some more tight ends as we breeze through. Yeah. Let's get to the next game. The 3-10 Jets head to Jacksonville to take on the 9-4 Jaguars. Minus 13.5 for the Jaguars. What is this, the college football playoffs?
This is easy. I'm not playing any Jets, not one. I think Breece Hall hasn't practiced. I don't think he's practiced. And it's Brady Cook starting. So not playing a Jet. All of them gone. No, thank you. Jags. I think Lawrence you can play. ETN has been hot. You got to play him. Tootin fumbled twice last week. He's in the doghouse. Yep. So definitely playing ETN. BTJ had a decent game last week, so that was nice to see. Tim Patrick had a game last week. I'm not really trusting that, but best ball, you got to pick him up. Yeah, and sure. Then Strange has been solid since he's come back too. So I don't mind throwing Strange in there as like a tight end. Like I think I said him over Loveland earlier, so that's probably right around what you're looking at.
And just because this seems to be a theme throughout the show, just kind of hierarchy of the streamers, and kind of put it out there. Strange over Schultz.
I think they're like equal.
Yeah, definitely close. They're in that same range.
Yeah, that's a flip a coin, honestly. I guess I'd go Strange, just a better matchup.
Yeah, go with the matchup on that one. Hi, gents is playing both running backs crazy. He also has Hubbard, A.D. Mitchell on the bench, full point PPR. Start two,
both Bears running backs. Yeah. I would play both Bears running backs over Hubbard and A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah, but we just talked about it, not playing any Jet. Hubbard, I think even if you are a little down on the Bears, which I think I'm a little bit faded on their ceiling play, I still think they're around the same as Hubbard. You might as well take the guys that are getting all the touches.
They just ran over the Eagles Black Friday. Last week against the Packers, they weren't terrible, and the Browns had been really, really good against the run all year, and then Tony Pollard goes for like 160. I think they've kind of checked out. Maybe don't give a shit anymore. So, and it's going to be minus 10 out with the wind chill. It's going to be cold. Caleb Williams, I don't know if he can play in the cold, to be honest with you. I think they're going to rely on the run game. They're going to have like 35, 40 carries. So I'm just playing both Bears running backs. I think they get all the points.
Yeah, I like it. The 9-4 Los Angeles Superchargers head to Kansas City and play the 6-7 Chiefs in Arrowhead. Minus 5.5 for the Chiefs, despite the under 500 record. Over under 41.5, kind of garbage. Plus 195 for the Chargers. Minus 238 for the home Chiefs. Let's start with the banged up Superchargers. Justin Herbert got a lot of teams in the playoffs. But is he going to be a lot of startable? Is he going to be on starting rosters in the playoffs?
I've benched him in pretty much every league that I have him this week. I'm playing Jackson Dart over him in a couple leagues. That offensive line is bad, and the Chiefs can pass rush. So that just worries me on Herbert. Like, he was getting hit every single time against the Eagles, and he's like, his hand is hurting him, obviously, because he just had surgery on the damn thing. So, oh, man, I can't really play too many Chargers this week, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, even McConkey last week was kind of locked up.
Done.
Yeah, like Keenan Allen, you could just see he's getting older, and it's kind of wearing on him. I think McConkey is like the only guy I really want to play for the Chargers this week.
Yeah, for me, it just seems really, really, really nerve-wracking. Both
Vidal
like and Hampton.
Game.
You're going to take the under even at 41.5? You think they get under 40 points? I think
so, yeah. Like this, I see this as like 13-10.
Yeah,
20-10, something.
If this was a 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time game for some reason, I think it would be like that's where the sun goes away. It starts getting frigid.
Yeah.
I still like the under, too. I think that this is just going to be a tough game for fantasy to really trust anybody, even on the Chiefs side of things. Mahomes has again, fallen flat after coming out gangbusters in fantasy. Last week, Travis Kelce let a lot of teams down. The Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco thing is really just frustrating, even though Kareem Hunt's pretty automatic with down
The
and distance
Chiefs need a
stuff.
running
What
back.
do you think? Oh, so Jeremiah Love?
Yes, please. Just fucking do it. Just press the button. I don't care. For the Chiefs this week, like, I probably still play Mahomes. Like, it's not like he's playing terrible, right? Last week was really, really bad. But I think he gets on track again this week. Running back, I can't play any of the running backs, really. And the Chargers, they were okay last week. Like, Barkley had that big run, but if I had to play a running back, I'd probably play Hunt because he's like the goal line back.
He gets the goal line touch. He's been good at it.
Yeah, you're playing Rashee Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Worthy, I don't think's a terrible play. Like, they're starting to get him going a little bit more. So he's probably like a wide receiver 3 flex for me. Kelce, you got to play Kelce. Like, he always tears up the Chargers, so I'm going to play Kelce.
Yeah, it's a revenge game, on himself for dropping that pass last week. All right, let's keep it moving to obviously my favorite game on the Sunday slate, but I'm a tad biased. The 9-4 Buffalo Bills head to Foxborough to take on the 11-2 New England Patriots. -1.5 for the visiting Bills. Over under 49.5. -120 for the Bills. -100 for the Pats. No juice for you. With this over under, with these offenses, is it just a smoke 'em if you got them on both sides?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I still don't trust any Bills receivers. Like, I'm not playing any of those guys. I'll play Josh Allen. I'll play James Cook. I'll play Kincaid. That's probably about it for the Bills. And then Patriots, obviously you're playing Drake May. Travion, I do like Ramondre this week. If you need an RB2 and all your guys are hurt or have shitty matchups, I don't think Ramondre is a bad play this week because he came back last or before the bye and he ran the ball pretty decently. Like, he got more carries than Travion for some reason.
That's right.
And that's a good way to beat the Bills is running the ball. So I think Ramondre has a good spot. Diggs tore them up last time he played them, so I'm going to go right back to Diggs. The other guys are like best ball guys for me. Hunter Henry, I don't love Hunter Henry this week.
All right, we got a big tight end question here in the chat. Would you play Strange, Likely, Schultz, or OG?
Yeah, it's between Likely and Strange for me. I think I would go Likely.
Let's throw Hunter Henry in this just for the sake of it as we put a bow on that matchup. Would you play Hunter Henry over any of these guys?
No, I'd probably go Likely, Strange, Schultz, Henry, Gadsden.
First week bye for me, setting up my D for the next two. The Saints, Rams, Tampa want to drop one. So which one of these defenses you drop in? Rams, Saints, or Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I would probably drop the Saints. I've been doing a lot of defense stuff the last couple days, so I've been picking up Dallas everywhere. I've been picking up Detroit everywhere for next week, for week 16, 17 especially. Dallas you can use this week. If Chicago was available, that's an all-in this week, against the Browns. I'm definitely going in on that. Jacksonville's another great one this week against the Jets and Brady Cook. So if those are available, you go get them, yeah.
Pick 2, Michael Wilson, Ted McMillan, Juwan Jennings, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans.
I think I'm going Tet and I think I go Tet and Godwin.
Tet and Thursday Night Godwin.
Yeah.
Jennings
I
has been
still
rough.
Jennings is okay, but it's the Titans. And Michael Wilson, I just don't know right now with Marvin Harrison.
And in that matchup, I think I could get behind that. Let's go with Godwin. Let's go with Ted McMillan. Let's let it ride, baby. Okay. All right, this next game of the slate, I think I'm going to, even though the over-under is pretty high, I think I'm still going to take the over. The 3-10 Washington Commanders head to the New York Giants, who are 2-11, plus 2.5 for the Commies. Over under 46.5, plus 120, minus 142. I kind of love everything about this matchup. In my eyes, this is where I'm going if I need a streaming flex play. If I'm desperate and my running back 2, this is the matchup that I'm attacking. So let's start on the Commander side of things. Marcus Mariota leading the offense. Are we nervous, or are we just going to fire it up?
I think Mariota's a decent play this week, but probably like a quarterback 2. Chris Rodriguez has missed practice, so I don't know what's going on there.
Major bummer on that one.
Yeah, like I don't trust any of their running backs. McLaurin and Debo, definitely trust them, and no Ertz now, so they're it's probably going to be McLaurin and Debo, and Noah Brown came back last week and led the team in snaps. So tell me how that works, but yeah, Debo, McLaurin, I'm good with playing those guys.
Yeah, it just feels like to me, I mean, there's not a good defense in this game. Both of these defenses have been so bad.
Yeah.
When you look at just rushing metrics, passing metrics, pressure metrics, they're all piss poor. They're all amongst some of the worst in the league. So I just think a lot of offenses to be had. And on the Giants side of things, we both like Dart. He's a QB1 this week. Yeah. Tyrone Tracy, yes.
Singletary, yes.
Hell yes. Singletary, sure. Theo Johnson, yes. Darius Slayton, yes.
He hasn't been that great with Dart, so I don't really trust it. I think I would trust Wandale. He's been like the most consistent guy.
Oh yeah.
Theo's not a bad play, but he's probably in that mix of like all those tight ends we just talked about. Like he's probably in the middle of that list. Yeah, Dart I'm playing, and I like both running backs. Like Tracy and Singletary have both been playing good and playing together. So, they're like RB2 flexes for me.
The 2-11 Las Vegas Raiders head to Philadelphia to take on the 8-5 Eagles. Minus 11.5 for the Eagles. Over under 38.5. Puke. Plus 490, minus 465. With the Raiders, is it just a flat out no thank you?
Yeah, so Geno is out. Kenny Pickett is going to start. So Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett will be in the game. Revenge game, I guess. I don't know.
Revenge of the Ring.
Yeah, like that's just the best. Like all these guys are best ball. Like I think I have one playoff matchup where I sat Genty. I'm not playing him. I think I would play both Bears guys over Genty. So if that helps anybody out there. Wide receiver wise, nobody. Bowers is the only guy I would trust.
Would you play like Bowers or like George Kittle? Like let's just say you have this Kittle. Ridiculous option, so it's still going to take almost unrealistic.
Like McBride, Kittle. That might be the list of guys I would play over Bowers.
Okay, so we're still playing on the Eagles side of things. Are we going to trust Jalen Hurts in this matchup?
I think you have to, just because it's the Raiders. I mean that's my only gut feeling on this is it's the Raiders. They're coming. Is this a 1:00 game? Right. Yep. So they're coming West Coast team coming to the East Coast to play 10 a.m. body clock time for them. It's gonna be cold. The team sucks. Kenny Pickett's
Eagles
in there.
Pissed.
Eagles are gonna be pissed. Yeah, and they have to keep winning. To keep up here in the playoffs, try to get a bye, whatever. So. I'm going to play the main 4 Eagles. Hurts, Barkley, Devontae, A.J. Brown. I'm playing them. Like I think Goddard's probably in the, that range of tight ends we talked about earlier. Like I'd probably play him over Schultz, but that's probably like right around where he's at.
Yeah. I think that's good. The big 4. I'm going to go with the big 4. You just dance with the guys that got you there,
Yep.
The 9-3-1 Packers head to Mile High to take on the 11-2 Denver Broncos. Broncos plus 2.5. The two teams in the NFL with 2 losses are both home underdogs this week. I smell me a parlay. We'll talk about that later in the week, though. Over under 42.5, minus 130 for the Packers, plus 110 for the Broncos. Packers, Love seems like he's been good against bad matchups, but in these tough defenses give him fits. He just has not been reliable in fantasy, so are we going to trust him? Are we going to trust his pass catchers? I know we're going to play Jacobs, right? We got to play Jacobs.
Yeah, the 2 4 o'clock games here. The next one that we're going to talk about too. That's really fucking good games. Probably the 2 best games of the week, to be honest with you. So, yeah, Jordan Love. He's been better on the road. Like I was looking last week at his stats, and like his 3 previous home games, he had 0 touchdown passes, and then obviously last week against the Bears, he had the 2 to Watson. But yeah, he's been a little better on the road, but I can't trust it, man. Like this Denver secondary is tough. Jordan Love is probably a mid quarterback 2 for me this week. Jacobs, I'll definitely play, but it's still going to be uphill sledding here. The receivers, I think the only one I could trust is Christian Watson, but that could still get shut down too. So he's like a wide receiver 3 flex play for me, even though he's been getting it done for you, and I don't trust any of the tight ends.
Yeah, how could you trust any of the tight ends? It's tough. Pat Surtain could be on Christian Watson. Jane Reed's back, so they have the whole plethora of players. Dontavia Wicks never goes away. Romeo Dubes has always been there. It's tough.
Yeah, Dubs gave you a big fucking goose egg last week and fucked me in a couple of leagues. Thanks, buddy.
The fantasy football playoff resentment is strong, and I feel you on a lot of that. On the Denver side of things, though, and again, another tough. This could be a defensive matchup. The 42.5 over-under is kind of lower than you'd expect with all the fantasy-relevant players. Are we nervous about our Broncos?
A little bit, yeah. It's going to be a tougher matchup, but Bo Nix hasn't just lit it up this year, but he's probably a mid quarterback 1 for me again, or quarterback 2 for me this week. Playing R.J. Harvey for sure. He's been their main running back. Sutton, I got to play Sutton. He's like the most consistent receiver. Pat Bryant has missed the last 2 days of practice, so he might be out. So you could see some more Mims and Franklin, but I can't trust those guys. Pressing them into my starting lineup, I can't trust it. And Evan Ingram, I can't trust. So really, it's just Cortland Sutton and Harvey I really want to play.
Troy Franklin, he's responsible for 25% of targets in the red zone. But even hearing that, I still don't love his chances to get volume, and I don't know how many times the Broncos are going to push into the red zone. This could be, a very underwhelming game.
What's the over-under again?
42.5.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the Chiefs game. I might take the under on that one too.
I agree. Especially 4 o'clock game Eastern Standard Time in Mile High. It's gonna get cold. Cold. Would you play Jaden Reed over Deebo Samuel?
No, I'd play Deebo.
I love Deebo. I don't like Reed, and I'm glad you stuck into the playoffs. Don't blow it, Robo Chris. Play Deebo over Reed.
Yeah, right, especially with Ertz out.
Dude, yeah. He could get 12 overall touches, 3 carries, 9 targets, something like that. There's a lot of opportunities that are going to go Deebo Samuel's way this week.
Yeah.
This next game is going to be, at least we hope, right? The 8-5 Detroit Lions head to La La Land and take on the 10-3 Los Angeles Rams. The Lions are getting 6 points as road underdogs. Over-under, though, 54.5. Plus 195 for the Lions, minus 238 for the Rams. Stafford, revenge game. Goff, revenge game. Is it going to live up to the hype? Let's start there. Will it live up to the hype?
Probably not. No, I bet you it probably hits the under, but it's probably still going to be 45 points or something, because these defenses are pretty solid, even though Lions just lost Branch for the year, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But I'm playing everybody in this game if I got them. All the main players. I'm playing Goff, Gibbs, J-Mo, Amon-Ra, obviously. Montgomery, probably not. Rams, obviously Stafford, Kyron. I think Blake Corum, you could throw him in there possibly if you need one. He's probably in that Singletary Tracy range that we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. Devontae Adams, you have to monitor. He's missed 2 days in a row with the hamstring. Last week he missed Wednesday, limited, and then full. So hopefully he gets at least a limited tomorrow. If he gets another out, then that's not good. But obviously, you're playing Puka, you're playing Devontae, and if you have to play a tight end, it's Parkinson. Parkinson's been really good the last month. So,
If Devontae is out, is there a guy that slides into your flex range for the Rams?
Unfortunately, no. Like I thought it would be Whittington, and that happened earlier in the year, and he did nothing. They've been playing Xavier Smith more. I think they just play everybody. They play Mumfield. They play Xavier Smith. They play. I think Atwell could come back this week too, off of IR. So yeah, it's like a hodgepodge, and I think they would just use their tight ends even more too. So yeah, it's just gonna. I don't want to trust anybody. If
Stafford's a top 5 to 8. He's a QB1 stud this week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Goff? Let's talk about Goff just specifically. Let's say you're just nervous about Hurts, or you're just nervous about Lamar. Like, are you gonna put Goff in the potential shootout?
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Just because it's indoors. Like if it was outdoors, it would probably be a little less a little more sketchy, but
right.
I don't mind it. Like he's gonna get the ball to Amon-Ra, he's gonna get the ball to JMO and Gibbs. Tezal. So yeah, I'm gonna go to those guys. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the NFC South battle. The 7-6 Carolina Panthers head to NOLA to take on the 3-10 Saints. Saints are getting 2.5 points at home. Over under 40.5. I think this goes way over, but let's talk about it. -148, +124. Carolina Panthers coming off the bye, looking good, above 500. Can maybe get a whiff of the NFC South lead if we can see the Buccaneers lose on Thursday Night Football. But for fantasy, are we playing Bryce Young? Are we playing Rico Dowdle? Where are we going to go for fantasy points for the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, I'm hoping coming off of the bye they get a little bit better here too. So like we talked about a couple weeks ago. I'm surprised they're 6-6 or 7-6, and now they're literally tied with the Bucs for the division lead right now. So the Bucs fucked it up last week, losing to the Saints. But that's the thing with the Saints. They play tough. Like they are not a pushover team. So even though they have all these guys out, like they did that with no Kamara last week. It's crazy. So Bryce Young, though, I would probably play him. Like I would play him over Stroud. I'd play him over Jordan Love. A couple of those guys we talked about earlier. So Dowdle I'll go back to. Hubbard's probably in that like flex range, like if you have to, but I don't love it. Playing Tet. That's the only guy I trust is Tet. That's about it.
And on the Saints side of things, Tyler Shough has a 68% completion percentage since he's come into being the starting quarterback, which is actually the 5th highest in the NFL in that span. It's pretty crazy. And when you look at the matchup against the Panthers run a ton of zone coverage, and Shough has been better against zone coverage in his short stint. Could Tyler Shough be a guy that's used for some super flex considerations in redraft this week?
Yeah, I think so for sure. He could definitely be in there. J.C. Horn is back this week for the Panthers, so they get one of their top corners back. But yeah, I think I play Shough. Devin Neal, he's getting most of the work. He's been okay. I mean, I had to start him last week.
Yeah,
I had to start him last week and picked him up and all that. So I'm playing him. Olave's getting a ton of targets.
Gotta play him.
Yeah, Vele has been getting targets, so he's not like a bad flex play if you're desperate. Juwan Johnson's been steady, gets you like 8 to 10, so he's not bad either.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mind this game. I think indoors in New Orleans, I think the over-under 40.5. I think they fire way past this. I think they shoot this thing out real quick. I know you just had an episode of America's Game where you kind of talked about the rookie class. You talked about guys in college. You talked about the college football playoffs and everything. Is Tyler Shough playing good enough for the Saints to say no to a quarterback in the early part of the first round?
I think they are going to not be in the range to do it, so I think their choice is just going to be made for them. I think at most 2 quarterbacks are coming out that are going to be top 5 worthy. And honestly, I think it's only Mendoza personally. So if they're not number 1 overall, I don't see them trading up for that guy. I think they just stick it out with Shough for another year and build up their defense, build up their line, build up playmakers, all that stuff.
Make the right decisions going into 2027, which
Right.
He's going to look like that's going to be the class. Should I drop or bench Chris Rodriguez, max RBs in the league, to grab Emmanuel Wilson?
Yeah, I don't think Rodriguez is somebody that you're going to start over Dowdle or Charbonnet if you had to make that choice. So I think he's your last running back, and we've seen what Emmanuel Wilson can do with Jacobs when he does get banged up and misses a game. So I think that's a smart play. Yeah, I would pick up Wilson and drop Rodriguez.
Michael Wilson, Christian Watson, Chris Rodriguez, Mike Evans for my flex and wide receiver too. So we need a wide receiver and a flex. I also have Isaiah Likely that you can use in flex. So let's pick a wide receiver and then a flex.
Yeah, it's probably not Rodriguez or Evans. I would probably throw Michael Wilson right now into my wide receiver 2 spot, and I'd probably throw Christian Watson into my flex spot. I guess you could throw Likely in if there's a tight end premium. But if it's not, I'd probably just go Wilson and Watson.
I think I would go Likely in the flex if you're if you are a what do you call it? Like an overwhelming favorite. If your projection looks like you're already at like 63%, like you're just looking like golden matchups and you're gonna win. I think I like the floor of Likely than I do anyone else, but. I think if it's a close matchup, you need the reach that ceiling. You're gonna go with what he said. You're gonna go with the receivers. The 8-5 Indianapolis Colts that are on a sinking ship. They head to Seattle to take on the 10-3 Seahawks. Another college football playoff spread here, plus 13.5 for the Colts. Over under 42.5 money line, plus 650, minus 1,000 for the Seahawks. No Daniel Jones. Riley Leonard's banged up. Phillip Rivers is on the team. Can we trust anything about this offense rest of season, including Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, so it sounds like what I read today that the Colts are preparing Phillip Rivers to start.
Ooh.
Riley Leonard is practicing in full though, so I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm just reading off the report. Yeah. I think, honestly, either quarterback I think are just about the same. I think Riley Leonard offers more fantasy upside with his rushing ability. Rivers is obviously the better passer. He ain't going to be running. Taylor, it's a tough matchup just regardless, but I think they're going to have to lean on Taylor regardless of the quarterback. So, I think Taylor, he's a must start. You're not benching the guy ever. So you're putting him in there. Wide receiver wise, though, that's the one that's the question. So like Josh Downs is out for me. No thanks. I think Pittman got a ton of targets last week, so I would be okay with him, but that's like a wide receiver 3, even though it's a tough matchup. I don't know if Rivers or Leonard could get the ball down the field to Alec Pierce, so I probably shy against Alec Pierce, even though he's had a good season. And Tyler Warren, he had a bad game last week. Mm-hmm. I think I would trust him, but if you wanted to gamble and play Likely or Schultz, who may be a little more consistent, I don't hate it, but I'm not going to tell you to bench Tyler Warren because he's been so good this year.
I'd go with Likely over Warren in this dire situation. I think it could be brutal.
It's one of those playoff decisions you have to make. Like, am I okay with it? If you're okay with it, then do it. So some people are just, they got to play their studs no matter what, even if it's a tough matchup or the situation's changed or whatever.
And the thing about Jonathan Taylor, yes, I have him ranked as a running back too. But you still can't bench him because give me 25 carries for Jonathan Taylor over 16 from DeAndre Swift, 11 from Kareem Hunt. Like, that's the range you'd be looking, and I can't go that route.
So the one thing with Rivers, too, I wanted to bring this up, and I read this, is the offense that the Colts run is the same offense that he runs for his high school team. And him and Shane Steichen are really good friends. Like Steichen was his quarterback coach at the end of the Chargers run there. So him and Steichen have actually talked weekly on the phone, like talking offense and all that stuff this year. So this is probably why this happened. So it's not like Phillip Rivers doesn't know this offense. Like he pretty much knows the offense for the most part. So so he's not coming in here like completely blind, doesn't know the offense. Like he knows most of it.
And on the Seattle Seahawks side of things, JSN has been fantastic. The running backs have been fantastically frustrating.
Yeah.
What decisions are we going to make about these Seahawks players in Week 15?
Yeah, I think Darnold's a solid play because I don't know. Did we ever get an update on Sauce Gardner? Is he out for the year? Did he tear his Achilles or anything?
I didn't hear Achilles, but I heard the calf strain was going to keep him out a couple weeks.
Okay. So yeah, so that's gonna affect their secondary a little bit. So I think Darnold is probably somebody I trust a little bit more than like Jordan Love and Bo Nix and those guys. Like, so he's probably like a back end quarterback one for me this week. The running backs, different story, man. Like, I don't know who to trust there. Like, 1 week it's Walker, 1 week it's Charbonnet. 1 week they both suck. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there because I don't even know myself. And then JSN, you're playing him. I think Shaheed is starting to kind of heat up too. He finally had a decent game last week, got you over 10 PPR points. Like, this could be a game where he hits a home run shot and they finally get that going. So I don't mind Shaheed as like a wide receiver 3 flex play. And Barner is middle of the road tight end.
Yeah, we're playing pretty much every one of those, that clump of tight ends we talked about earlier.
Yeah, it's like flip a coin, basically.
Bam Knight or Kimani Vidal?
Man, that Houston defense has been so good. I'd probably go with Vidal, even though he's splitting.
I'm going with Vidal as well. All right, another college football playoff type spread. The 2-11 Tennessee Titans head to the Bay Area to take on the 9-4 San Francisco 49ers. Niners minus 12.5, over under 45.5, plus 625, minus 950 for the home team. Titans, no thank you. Or are we going to believe the huge game that Tony Pollard did in Week 14?
Yeah, no. I'm not playing those guys, honestly. I think the only one I can maybe get behind is Chimere Dike. He's been solid for them. I do like Gunnar Helm and those guys a little bit too, so like I don't mind them as like tight end 2 type plays, but other than that, I don't really want to play any Titans.
Yeah, I'm staying away even from Tony Pollard. That was a great game last week, but the Niners have they've been pretty good, middle of the road rushing opponent for running backs in fantasy, and it just
coming off a bye,
and I'm just gonna take process over results. Like Tony Pollard's results are great, but the process play, their Vegas implied total for the Titans is 16 points. How can you play a running back who splits carries when they're projected 16 points? Like,
right?
No. That's just a bad process play. And on the Niners side of things, Brock Purdy's been pretty good. Christian McCaffrey's been fantastic. Kittle's been as good as it gets. We've been able to start him with confidence with Purdy. But is there anyone else? Anyone else in this Niners team that we want to get to?
Yeah, Purdy's last game. Okay, so it was the Browns game. He was okay in that game. And then he had that Carolina game where he was fucking awful on Monday Night Football.
That was the 4-pick game or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm playing him this week. Coming off the bye, should be a little healthier after a week of rest. You know, he's been dealing with injuries all year, so I love that. I think Purdy's probably one of my top. He's probably a top 6 quarterback for me this week. Firing him up. Christian McCaffrey, fire him up. Kittle, Jennings. Pearsall has been so tough to play, but I think after a bye, and they know how important he is, I think they kind of get him going this week. So I like Pearsall as like a wide receiver 3 for me, flex. Try and fit him into your lineup if you can.
And Juwan Jennings is a hoe. I just wanted that stated on the record.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got hit in the nuts, or whatever that quote was, which made me laugh out loud when I heard it. It was very, very funny. Let's get to some Sunday Night Football, because this was the game that we were building best ball lineups around. This was the game we were building redraft lineups around. The 5-8 Minnesota Vikings head to Dallas to take on the 6-1 Cowboys. Plus 5.5 for the Vikings, over under 48.5. Plus 225 for the Vikings, minus 278 for the home Cowboys. The indoor game, the bad defense of the Cowboys, the high-powered offense we were projecting in the summer. This was a game marked on the calendar. Can we trust it the way we were hoping to trust it all those months ago, E?
No, not at all.
Oh.
McCarthy, I can't play McCarthy ever. Like, I know he had a good game last week, but I'm not trusting it. Like, even Justin Jefferson didn't even have a good game last week. It was fucking Josh Oliver catching everything, and Hawkinson.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Jones is solid. He's probably like a high end RB2 for me this week. I'd probably still play Jefferson, but I don't love it. Addison's been getting a ton of targets, so I probably throw him in this week. And honestly, that's about it for for Minnesota that I like. Like, I don't trust Hawkinson still. He's been getting a little bit better, so he's probably in that hodgepodge of tight ends we talked about earlier. Like, they're just all in a pile. And yeah, that's really it for Minnesota.
Yeah, I got to play Jefferson. This matchup is It's the golden goose matchup.
Yeah.
The squeaky wheel game in the same nature that we're talking about. You have to play Jonathan Taylor is what I feel regarding Justin Jefferson. But the difference is, if you put a gun to my head and ask me which guy has a chance to go for 25 fantasy points, Taylor or Jefferson, I might take Jefferson because this matchup, like everything is lining up. Because I'm just gonna put this out there. If this season ends the way it's been going for Jefferson in the Vikings, you could see him kind of asking for a trade in the offseason. Right? If it just continues to go off the rails.
He just signed that big contract. I don't know.
That doesn't stop these guys, EV. You know that. You know these prima donnas.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I'm not going to say it's never going to happen. Like, it could definitely happen.
It could definitely happen. But you know when it doesn't happen? When they give Jetta 15 damn targets on Sunday Night Football and he catches 12 of them for 170 and 2.
They're going to need a veteran quarterback, so hopefully they can find one.
And on the Dallas side of things, there's really no analysis needed. We already know the guys, right? The only thing we're monitoring is the health of CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, he's practiced in full like the last 2 days, so I'm expecting him to be fine. So firing up Dak, Javonte, Dak, Pickens. Jake Ferguson has missed the last 2 days, so we might be without Jake Ferguson. So just monitor that one.
Flournoy? Little Flournoy action?
I think that had to do with Lamb kind of maybe going out there a little bit too.
Oh, no doubt.
So, like, I'm not trusting Flournoy. If a lineup league, I can't press the button on him. There's no way.
No.
So I can't trust it. If you're like desperate for a tight end, like pick up Luke Schoonmaker now, just in case Ferguson doesn't play. Like, Schoonmaker could get you 4 for 40 and a touchdown if you're desperate at tight end. So I think that's a big one right now.
Yeah, we like the over-under. Should be a fun game on Sunday night. All right, let's talk about the last game of the Week 15 slate, a.k.a. the first round of the fantasy football playoffs. The 6-7 Dolphins on a heater head to Pittsburgh to take on the 7-6 Steelers. Steelers minus 3 points, over-under 41.5, plus 142 for the Dolphins, minus 170 for the Steelers. It feels like a bizarro world because the Dolphins' defense has been pretty good instead of the Steelers' defense, and the Steelers' offense looked pretty good last week as opposed to the Dolphins' offense. But let's start with the Dolphins. The matchups look good. The defense for the Steelers has been tough. Tua is the quarterback. But let's start with Achane. He's the real one that we're watching. Is he going to play on Monday Night Football?
Everything that I've seen so far says yes. So,
I agree. And when he was ruled out, the game was over. That game, they were
like
kicking
there was the
Jets,
and Brady Cook was in there. Like, they ain't fucking playing. So
right.
So I think Achane, I'm firing him back up. Tua, I can't trust him. Not against Pittsburgh. Waddle, I think you can play. That's probably that's been the only receiver you can play since Tyreek Hill's went out. And Waller's like a tight end too. Like, I'd probably play a lot of those guys we've talked about earlier over Waller just because he's not getting a lot of the catches and work at all. So I'd probably go against him.
I agree. And on the Steelers side of things, they've become so easy to analyze. DK, you love him. You like him.
Yeah, he's full practice. He's good to go.
He's good to go. You can't sit him. I mean, proof was last week him just kind of looking vintage DK. But I really like these running backs. Both of these running backs have been useful. Gainwell's getting a ton of targets. Warren's getting targets and touches. He's really kind of been a solid running back 2 option. Can we trust both of these guys on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I'm going to play both those running backs if I can. DK I'm playing. This is Aaron Rodgers' last Monday night game of his career, maybe. So you got to think Aaron Rodgers is going to want to ball out a little bit. So I do like him. I do like, this is crazy because he hasn't done anything, Jonnu Smith revenge game.
Jonnu Smith revenge game. I like the deviousness, my friend, but he's at the back end of that hodgepodge we've been talking about.
True, right? But if you're feeling frisky, like I don't mind throwing him in there. You get the fizzle Monday night guy, that late guy.
Yeah.
You get that late guy in there that gives you that little hope there at the end, and what if he catches you 2 touchdowns because he's playing the Dolphins and he wants to stick it to him because they wouldn't pay him. I can see it happening. So. I don't mind throwing Jonnu into a few lineups. Like me and Adam in our the grind league, we just lost Ertz, so it's Chig or Jonnu. I'm thinking, fuck it, let's just throw Jonnu in there.
If you're gonna get frisky, you do it at tight end because it feels like the bar of entry is so low. Get a little frisky with Jonnu.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. And the Steelers are now kind of in the driver's seat for the AFC North, so you're expecting some good things from Mike Tomlin and the team.
Yeah, it's crazy, like just some of these divisions right now, and it's going to be coming down to the wire here, like this NFC South, the Steelers and Ravens, if the Steelers start losing, and the NFC North, Jesus, like the Packers, Bears, Lions are all right in there in it, so it's crazy right now.
Yeah, football, the parity, that's what they've done such a good job. The NFL's done such a good job keeping the parity, keeping us on the edge of our seats this deep into the season, and I'm hoping we have not really kept you on the edge of your seats, but got you ready to go for your Week 15 first round of the Fantasy Football Playoffs matchup. Eric, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can follow me at Eric Vanek NFL on X. Sunday, start sit show. Make sure you guys join us there right here on this channel as well. We'll help you with any of your start sit decisions for this playoff week and all the playoff weeks going forward. So yeah, come check us out.
And you cannot find me on X. I still have not gotten my account back. Let's make sure you call Elon, let him know I need my damn account back. I was hacked
again.
It's okay. I haven't got it back since then. I have never gotten it back.
Oh, jeez.
So we'll keep at it. But anyway, make sure you are subscribed here to the South Harmon Fantasy Football channel. Like this.
How's
video,
that new car?
Comment. The car got my account suspended on top of blocked, so it's just a complete train wreck. I don't think I'll be on X ever again. But hey, it's okay. There's always LinkedIn. There's always Facebook with my parents. Anyway, that's Week 15, and we'll see you next week for the semifinal edition of the walkthrough. Peace.
Welcome to the walkthrough.